What's up YouTube, this is Taryn Schofield going over the banned and restricted list of February 3rd, 2014 from the DCI. Of course, we've got some changes. It's okay. There's some changes that's involving Jund mainly. There's some decisions that Jund's going to have to make. So let's go over it. Let's get our first card up here, which should be appearing around here somewhere. So here's the first card. We've got one Actar, a perfect unbanning. Right, I don't understand why this card was unbanned. It was okay, you know. Naya needed to have the land out to make this card good. It's a little bit slower than the rest of the cards in the format, a little bit, but you know, it's a perfect card to play with. It's a perfect card to do certain things that other decks can't do, and I think this is a fairly reasonable unbanning. Like, other decks can do combo, why can't Naya have this? Because it's won in the past, and that's what Modern's about. So let's go into the next card. Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom's coming back is reasonable, you know. It fills the void for the next card that is being banned. But again, I've had numerous discussions with other players that have said it's too many 2-drops, but there is variants of Jund. Like, okay, let's just get Bitter Blossom out of the way because this is the big one. Deathrite Shaman. There is Deathrite Shaman. It accelerates, yes. Jund will still exist without this card. Jund will exist because it's got Olivia Voldaren, it's got all kinds of other cards. Yeah, okay, it's going to be slower, but Jund needs to be slower. You know, it's dominating for a reason because of Deathrite Shaman's one of the cards. But there is still so many variants, and if Antwerp and Prague GPs have taught us anything, Olivia Voldaren and what's the other one? Huntmaster of the Fells, Thundermaw Hellkite's seen play as well in the Jund variants, and they've come in top 16. They've top 16'd. You know, I've had someone say, Spell Snare's a thing, and like Bitter Blossom won't come into. Jund will just alter. You know, like anything in the format can be answered. Like Spell Snare. Well, what do you do? Like, you don't play Bitter Blossom because you're afraid of Spell Snare. There is such thing as a sideboard. Like, you sideboard, if Spell Snare's a problem, you sideboard a load of 2-drops and play out some other things, because Spell Snare will be a dead card. Like, okay, it's not going to be dead to Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant, but you can still sideboard a load of stuff. Deathrite will not be banning Deathrite. It's not going to be the end of Jund. It's slowing Jund down, but it's not a lot. Now, onto the thing about Bitter Blossom. Bitter Blossom could be a fine addition to Jund. Sideboard, though. I think it's sideboard because you're not going to main deck this, I don't think. If you're playing against a deck that's not playing Spell Snare, you'll put it in. Like, if you're playing against Spell Snare, it's absolutely terrible because you do lose 1 life and you do get a Fairy Rogue, and that's huge. But I've seen people play. You could play Frag Tusk with Bitter Blossom. Frag Tusk is okay. It's not the best you can do, but again, it's seen Grand Prix level play, Frag Tusk, and it's not the best of cards, but it gets there. Like, that life gain, it gets there, and the extra creatures that when it goes away is excellent. Is what Jund needs. But as of course, having Deathrite go away, it slows Jund down, which needed to be done. Of course, personally, I'm a little bit unhappy about it, but it needed to be done. I've got around that. There's plenty of other decks to play. Jund is still available completely. No, you know, Deathrite's still going to see play in Legacy, maybe, but it's not the end of the world. This really banned restriction list is okay. It's a little bit messed up because they've taken something away from Jund and they've added something. It's slowed it down a little bit, just a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. We've dealt with bannings before and we've adapted. Jund is going to have to adapt a teeny bit, but I don't think a lot. But I think the format's going to be around the same. Like, you're not going to get a lot of change, not from this one. Wild Nactile is okay, it's not going to define anything. In fact, it actually adds a little bit more, but it's not going to define the format. Modern, I think, cannot be defined. It was before. Like, I mean, when I mean by defined, I mean like it can't be conquered. Like, Living End is a thing. Like, it dominated Antwerp, Living End, and that's something you got. I was there. I played Soul Sisters, and I nearly beat Living End, but it was so difficult. Like, I had bad draws, but I destroyed it game one. But then the sideboard came in, and I absolutely got dominated. But like, there's so many other decks. The artifact decks are still there. The hexproof decks are still there. That was a funny match, but there's so many other decks. Like, there's the decks that cheat creatures into play. But Deathrite Shaman is not something that might be good. We'll see in the near future. But I've rambled on enough. This is what I think of the ban restriction list. It's okay. This is Tyranno Schofield heading out.